Did you know there's four basic ways in which you can become a real estate investor? And if you make it all the way through the end, I'll share with you some even better news about becoming a real estate investor. The first way to become a real estate investor is to get a mortgage. Get a mortgage for a house, and then rent out a room to a trusted friend or a relative or someone that or may be aware of that that they're in need of a place to stay. So that's the first and probably the most common way to become a real estate investor. The second way is to buy the crappiest house in the nicest neighborhood that you can afford. And with this, I mean, so you have an area that you like to live in because of the school districts or just the demographics, the location of work, and whatever the case may be. But you wanna purchase a house in that area, so you do that, but you get the worst house, and then over the course of time, you put some time, energy, and money into bringing that not so great house up to the standards that the other houses in the community has, and then you put it on the market. I have a friend that lives in San Diego now. Again, not again, but I realize San Diego is not the Vancouver market, and this is a totally um, not a true apples to apples comparison because we're talking about San Diego versus Vancouver, but the point is still the same. He and his wife did exactly that. They bought the crappiest house in a very, very nice neighborhood and spent 2 years fixing it up. And I believe he told me that when it was all said and done, including the expense, the cost of labor and materials and all that stuff, he profited a net of $500,000. Now, again, I know this is San Diego, and we're not in San Diego, we're in Vancouver, but the idea is the same. You get the best, you pick up the best neighborhood, buy the crappiest house, put a little bit of sweat equity, some money, some, whatever, and put it on the market and realize a profit that way. It's the same principle as fixing and flipping, but it's done over a longer period of time, not during a 1 hour television show. The third way to become an investor is it could be used in conjunction with the first strategy of house hacking, but you get one that you might be able to convert or you can convert over to an ADU or an auxiliary dwelling unit. And what that is like you take the garage and you convert it to a living space. You put plumbing, um, you know, ventilation, and the other typical things that's needed for a livable unit, and you just convert your garage. That is an idea that's gaining traction and gaining in popularity because a lot of people are doing that, especially with the rental shortage that we currently experiencing, and so that could be a great mother-in-law strategy um, for some. And mother-in-law is just a generic term, but you fix it up and you put a senior citizen family member in that and charge them rent. So that's an idea. The final strategy number four, 1, 2, 3, 4, is multifamily. Did you know that um, the requirements for uh, one door, when I say door, I mean one residence is the same for a duplex, a triplex, or a quad, or four separate living spaces. And by that I mean it's still a traditional loan. It's not a commercial loan. And you can potentially use the income earned from owning a multifamily dwelling and as income. Just go off the fair market rent. And if you need a copy of that, just let me know. I can send that to you. I have a copy of that. But yeah, um, that's just for basic strategies that are used to become an investor. The reason why I'm particularly fond of the last one, the multifamily, is because there is a 5 to 8 year wait list for Section 8 housing. And let that sink in. 5 to 8 years of waiting for Section 8 housing. I know Section 8 housing has a bad stigma associated with it, but we're talking about investment properties. And yes, for a while you would be required to live in um, the multifamily unit, but it's not something that's done forever. What you could do is you could purchase the multifamily unit by your traditional means of getting a mortgage, live in there 2 years, and then refinance out of that that mortgage that you have into a separate one, but as a business entity, and it would clear you of it just puts you in another tax bracket. Now, I am not an accountant, so don't take my word for it. Just find yourself a reputable accountant that's familiar with real estate investment accounting, and get the clarification from them. Again, I am not an accountant. I am a real estate agent, but I have spoken with several people throughout my career as a realtor that has done that very thing. So something to consider. So again, the 4 points, and then I'll get to the great news about it all. The 4 points is the four strategies rather. House hack, best or crappiest house in the best neighborhood. Convert a room, or you can even add a tiny house to your property and use that as an ADU. But you got to check the regulations and city code and all that stuff. And but if you work with a realtor who's familiar with that, then then they can help you with that, and find out what's legal and what's not. The fourth one is multifamily. Again, there's a 5 to 8 year wait list for multifamily, and so it might be in your best interest to consider um, being an investor in a multifamily. Now, I would caution you to if you go the route of the multifamily, then hire a property management company. Do not do that yourself. I strongly urge you not to, especially as long as you are staying in the same complex, because you just save yourself a lot of trouble, a lot of headaches. And so those are the four strategies. Now, the thing that's really neat about it is that it could be possible, and is entirely possible, for you to purchase those properties with no money down. Wouldn't that be exciting to buy an investment property legally with no money down? And so I have a video on that topic, that very topic. So I'll put it somewhere. I don't know where it's going to go, but I'll put a link somewhere in the description so you can find it. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call. Michael Harding with Keller Williams. I wish you and yours the very best, and I do certainly hope that you guys are taking care of each other and being kind to one another, and I will see you again.